with another video. That's 2 days in a row for me, which is quite unusual. But yesterday I posted a unboxing of the new House of a Thousand Corpses set from Lionsgate, which is fantastic. So what I thought I would actually do, I was really intrigued to do this, is a little ranking of my favourite Rob Zombie movies. I believe he's done 8 films. Yeah, he's done 8 movies. This doesn't include the Munsters, as I don't own it on Blu-ray or 4K and I've never seen it. So this is not a ranking of his 8 films. This is a ranking of the 7 other films. So let's get started with 31. I like, to be fair, like with Rob Zombie, I like his whole style and his take on horror. Obviously he's a musician as well, so some of his music's quite good as well. Yeah, I'm quite a little bit of a fan of some of his tunes, but yeah, I like the whole way how he directs. And you know, it's some of the films people say are a little bit trashy with the dialogue. I can see that, but they're a lot of fun, and you know, he's got a good eye for horror, and that's what counts really. So number 7 in this ranking, excluding Munsters. No Munsters in this ranking, as I've not seen it. It's 31. It's got Sherry Moon Zombie in it. His wife, who's basically in all of his films. It's got Richard Brake in it, who plays a good villain. And basically it's about these killers. You know, I'm sure you've seen it, but yeah, number 7's it's about these people who are trapped in a game where the all super rich bet on who's going to survive. I actually haven't cracked this Blu-ray open. It's a German release of 31, as we don't have a Blu-ray in the UK for 31. Have a DVD, but no Blu-ray. But there's a little look at the cover. So number 7, 31. Not a bad film. I wasn't too keen on it. It does warrant a rewatch from me. But there you have it, 31. Number 6, one of his more recent films, third in the Firefly trilogy, with Otis and Baby, you know, those guys. It's got Sid Haig in the beginning before he passed away. He managed to get some scenes done. Regardless, number 6 is 3 from Hell. So it was good to get Sid Haig in there, but he does have a very brief appearance. Yeah, the movie's okay. They end up in Mexico towards the end. It's pretty brutal. There's a lot of blood and stuff. The first half's good. I'm not so keen on the part when they end up in Mexico. It's got Richard Brake in it. He's back in a Rob Zombie film. Yeah, he plays their cousin, I believe. Yeah, he does a good job. He's a good addition to the movie, but there you have it. Number 6, 3 from Hell. 5 in my ranking is Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. Yeah, I like the whole... I know there's a bit of a divisive opinion on this one. Some people really like it. Some people hate the film. It doesn't have the atmosphere of the John Carpenter films, but I love them. But I don't mind that because this is Rob Zombie's take. And I think we're quite privileged somewhat to have a, you know, like a Rob Zombie spin on Halloween. This is his depiction of Halloween, and it's very brutal. Michael's even bigger, you know, he's enormous in this film. It shows him when he's a kid and what happened. That does take a bit of mystique away from the character, though, as in the John Carpenter films, we don't really know much about Michael, which is on the plus side, which is a little bit of the downfall of this film. But if you're looking for an interesting take on Michael Myers and something that's adds to the canon, I mean, it's not a part of the original Halloween sort of timeline. As you know, with the Halloween films, the timeline's very convoluted, especially with the new trilogy and stuff. Very convoluted timeline. This isn't a part of the original timeline. It's Rob Zombie's take on the franchise. But it's great, I think. I think it's got good kills. You know, it's got good atmosphere. Yeah, I enjoy it. To be fair, that's my number 5. Number 4 in the Rob Zombie movie ranking is Lords of Salem. I do quite like this movie. It does, again, as I've said before with other films, it warrants a rewatch. Not seen it for a while. It's got Sherry Moon in it again, as always, of course. I believe Ken Foray's in it as well from Dawn of the Dead. It's about a radio host and this a team of radio hosts who do a late night show, and this music gets sent in, this song, which is basically just a bunch of instruments grinding and metal sounds, and it's really eerie and really cool part of the film, that sinister music is that this band send in, and it all goes from there, and it's basically about witchcraft and things descend into madness, and it's quite trippy towards the end, and it's got some weird imagery. Yeah, it's a pretty good Pretty good movie. I quite like it. That's my number 4 in the Rob Zombie movie rankings, The Lord of Salem. Now, this might cause a bit of a kerfuffle and a bit of a diverse opinion, but my number 3 in his best films is Halloween 2, his sequel, the sequel to his Halloween. You know, it's got nothing to do with the John Carpenter timeline or anything, but yeah, it's cool. It's very weird. It deals with sort of, if you will, it deals with mental health in some regard, as it explores Michael's psychosis that he has. So it shows what he sees as he sees his mother, his dead mother on a horse and things like that. So it shows Michael's perspective. A lot of people hated that aspect of it. I think it's quite cool. I like it as canon in the Halloween franchise. That's Halloween 2. You know, going a bit deeper with Michael's psyche and things. I really liked it. I think it's quite a good ride, that one. Number 3, sorry, in my ranking. Number 2 in my ranking is a masterpiece of some sorts, in my opinion. It's Devil's Rejects, second in the Firefly trilogy. If you've not seen it, go check it out. I'm sure most people have seen it. It's great. It's got most of the characters like Sid Haig and who plays Captain Spaulding, and then of course Bill Moseley's Otis is back, and the character Baby's in it as well. And they go on a rampage, basically. They go on a vicious road trip, and it's brilliant. Not got the sort of, it's a bit more of a, I'd say it's a bit more of a blood-soaked thriller than a straight-up horror compared to House of Thousand Corpses, which is straight up like horror. It's got a lot of horror elements. This has got horror elements, and by all means it is a horror movie. It's in that genre, but yeah, it's a bit more of an yeah, it's a bigger film. Some more, what I'm trying to say is, to put it down to a tease, I'm trying to say it's a bit more of an ambitious movie. That's my number 2. Could have been number 1 quite easily. And then, of course, which I showed yesterday, this lovely set. But House of Thousand Cups is my favourite Rob Zombie movie. It's eerie, it's weird. It's got some great mythology to it with the Dr. Satan character. The ending's fantastic when the woman ends up in Dr. Satan's domain, his lair. And it's very surreal, and the characters are great. And this is my favourite Rob Zombie movie. Devil's Rejects and this are probably tied, but I thought I'd do a ranking, so I've put Devil's Rejects as 2 and this as number 1. Just by it, you know, just by a millimetre, if you will. House of Thousand Corpses is my favourite. There you go. There's my, obviously I didn't include the Munsters. Haven't got it. Never seen it. I've heard it's not very good, quite bad. I'll have to check it out, as with it being a Rob Zombie film, as I'm a fan of his movies normally. That's my ranking anyway, top 7, my top 7 Rob Zombie movies. Okay, thanks for watching, bye.